Good morning, students. Today I will continue with the next family, that is family Rutaceae. And the previous class you have studied the family Malvaceae. It is a hibiscus family. Malvaceae, it's a hibiscus family. And one thing you have to add in the introduction of that Malvaceae family, that is with respect to the number of species under the family Malvaceae. Generally, the family includes about 1000 to 1500 species. There, make that little correction. Malvaceae family includes about 1000 to 1500 species. And today, I will continue with the family Rutaceae. Rutaceae is a citrus family. It belongs to class Dicotyledonnae. Class Dicotyledonnae, subclass Polypetalae, series Disciflorae, series Disciflorae, order Geraniolus, and family Rutaceae. Okay, this is the classification for family Rutaceae. Rutaceae family belongs to class Dicotyledonnae. You know the reason for this classification. The Dicotyledonnae, all the families or the subclass or the series or whatever the family belongs to, all these units of classification, they are characterized by two cotyledons in their seeds. And we know the basic characters of dicots. You can add up some more characters: leaves with reticulate venation, root system is taproot, and so on. They are the important features of class Dicotyledonnae. Subclass Polypetalae, because of the polypetalous nature of the corolla. Corolla is made up of free. Whatever may be the number of petals there, all the petals are free. So the condition of the corolla is described as polypetalous in nature. And now the series is Disciflorae, because so far you have studied three families. The first family, it was Annonaceae. The second, the Brassicaceae family, and the third family was Malvaceae. So just to go through the classification of all these three families, you will find there the series is called as Thalamiflorae there, because of the distinct thalamus and hypoconus condition of the flower. The series is called as Thalamiflorae. Now this Rutaceae family belongs to series Disciflorae. The Disciflorae, why it belongs to Disciflorae? The reason is the presence of a cushion-like or well-distinct disc below the ovary. Okay, the presence of a cushion-like disc below the ovary. If you dissect open the flowers which belong to this Rutaceae and all the families which fall under the series Disciflorae, and all these families, you will find that if this is the gynoecium, the clear, very distinct disc is present below the ovary. This is the disc, and because of the presence of this disc below the ovary, all the families or all the orders which fall under Disciflorae, they are characterized by the presence of a distinct disc, and hence it is called as the Disciflorae. And the flower is hypogynous only because the ovary is situated at the top of the thalamus, so it is hypogynous flower only, but at the base of the ovary you will find a distinct ring-like or cushion-like disc below the ovary. That is the feature of the Disciflorae. Then order is Geraniolus. Here the ovary is superior with axile placentation, and all the families which fall under the Geraniolus, they are characterized by superior ovary with axile placentation, and the family is Rutaceae. So let us begin with the family Rutaceae. The Rutaceae family is introduction for this family. Introduction to this family. The Rutaceae family is represented by the citrus fruits. So that is why this is called as citrus family. All these lemon, orange, Mosambi, they belong to the citrus category, and all those fruits which are rich with vitamin C are the citrus fruits, and all the citrus fruits belong to the family Rutaceae. This is citrus family, which includes about 150 genera and 1500 species. And 1500 species. Okay, 150 genera and 1500 species. Out of 150 genera and 1500 species, only about 25 genera and 82 species sorry 25 genera and 80 species are reported from India. Okay, they are reported from India, and the citrus is one of the common fruit yielding plant which belongs to the family Rutaceae. So now let us begin with the habit of these plants. Before going on to the habit character of the plants which belong to the citrus family, let us just check out the examples which you have seen in your daily life or in your home garden or in your field or the farm. You might have seen all these varieties of lemon, all the varieties. It may be sour variety of lemon, sweet lime, or it may be bitter lime, and all these lime species, lemon species belong to the family Rutaceae. Apart from that, this Murraya coenigi, that is curry leaf, Waggernesopo, is one of the common plant which belongs to this family because it is there in our everyday life. Curry leaf, Murraya is the name of the plant. And Patri, eagle marmelos, Patri, bale tree is also an example for the family, and these are some of the common examples. All of you have seen one or the other plant which belongs to this family, so that this family is actually the habit of the members which belong to this family. The plants which belong to this family are mostly they are shrubs or trees, and very rarely they are herbs. There is a herb, very few plants which belong to this family, they belong to herbaceous category. Ruta is one of the plant. Ruta graveolens is one of the plant which is herbaceous in nature. This is a herb. And apart from this Ruta graveolens, most of the plants which belong to this family are shrubs or trees or small sized trees. And very important character of the members which belong to this family is the presence of very fragrant nature of the plant parts, because they are highly fragrant in nature. You know, if you touch the lemon, you can perceive the smell of the lemon, or if you touch the leaf of lemon plant or the lemon leaves or the Murraya coenigi leaves, they all have oil glands in them, so that translucent oil glands are the characteristic feature of all the members which belong to family Rutaceae. Because if you check the lemon plant, lemon fruit or the orange fruit or Mosambi, hold it in your hand and observe over the rind of the fruit, you will find transparent or translucent gland dot-like structures are observed over the surface of the fruit. Even on the surface of the leaf you find the same nature. Even on the surface of the Murraya coenigi leaf also we find translucent gland dotted nature, and this is because of the presence of oil glands in them, and the oil glands are very much fragrant in nature. Highly scented plant parts are a common feature of the members which belong to family Rutaceae, so that very rarely the plants are herbaceous in nature, otherwise the plants are shrubs or trees, and the gland dotted nature of the plant part is a very special feature of the members, almost all members which belong to the family Rutaceae, because Ruta is also highly fragrant in nature. If you touch the plant, you can perceive the smell of the Ruta graveolens leaves or the plant parts. It's very fragrant in nature. So this is one of the important feature of the members of this family. Then the root of this family, roots are naturally, because the family belongs to dicotyledonous root system is called as the taproot system. It is having strong taproot system. The stem is highly branched in nature, and sometimes the stem is thorny in nature, because you find very strong thorns over the surface of the eagle plant, Patri, and some species of lemon. It is also characterized by strong thorns over the stem, so that it is thorny in nature, highly branched, and it is strong type of stem is found among the members of this family. Now the leaves of the family members, and the family is represented by all these citrus species and Murraya. The leaf may be simple or it may be compound. Leaves of the plants, either the leaves are simple or they are compound. Okay, because in some plants the leaves may be simple and generally it is been compound, and the compound leaf it may belong to the two categories, either permanently compound or pinnately compound type of leaves are found among the members of this family. So they are simple or it is compound leaf. They are petiolate in nature, stipulate or exstipulate in nature. Then the leaves are alternate or opposite phyllotaxy is found among the members. The leaves are alternately arranged or they are opposite to each other, either alternate or the opposite phyllotaxy, stipulate or exstipulate leaves. And the leaves in some of the plants are characterized by the pulvinous leaf base. The leaf base is pulvinous, very specifically in case of Murraya species. You find slightly swollen leaf base like this. Yeah, just check the leaf of Murraya coenigi. You will get it is an example for the unipinnately compound kind of leaf, and it is an example for imparipinnately compound type where the leaflets are arranged in pairs, and you will find the unpaired single leaflet at the apex. And this is a unipinnately compound nature of the leaf, and the leaf base is slightly swollen. If you find such kind of swollen base, slightly swollen base where it is attached to the stem, and this kind of swollen leaf base is called as the pulvinous leaf base. It's called as pulvinous leaf base. Okay. So the leaves are either simple or they are compound. If they are simple, forget about it, it's simple. If it is compound, you have to check whether it is unipinnately compound or bipinnately compound and so on, whether it is palmately compound or pinnately compound. And the palmately compound leaf is found in the members of this lemon species, and also in case of eagle, because unifoliately compound leaf and trifoliately compound leaf are also found in the members. Citrus species, generally you might have seen the leaves of the lemon. The lemon leaf will be having such kind of winged petiole. Okay, so this is an example for unifoliately compound leaf, lemon species. Some species of citrus, they belong to this type of leaf nature. They are characterized by this type of leaf nature. This is called as unifoliately compound. Unifoliately compound. You just please check the previous videos. You will come to know what are the different types of compound leaves. It is described in detail in those videos. Then if it is tri-leaf, 3 leaflets are present in the leaf, you will find it in case of eagle marmelos. So that is 2 leaflets, and this is the 3rd leaflet here, and this is 1 leaf. Okay, this is 1 leaf, and this is found in case of patri. Eagle is an example where 3 leaflets are arising from a common point. So it is to be called as trifoliately compound leaf. So that maybe pinnately compound or these two belong to palmately compound leaves. Pinnately or palmately compound leaf, simple or compound, stipulate or exstipulate. Sometimes the stipules may be modified into sharp thorns, and the leaves are highly fragrant, because once you describe the fragrant nature of the plant parts, need not describe each and every part as fragrant, and so on. So you have described already the habit itself. The plant parts are gland dotted in nature. Translucent oil containing glands are found over the plant parts. The same character is exhibited by the leaves also. And the leaves are characterized by entire margin, leaflets with entire margin or slightly serrate margin, and unicostate reticulate kind of venation. Okay. Then the inflorescence of the family members. The inflorescence is either axillary or terminal cymose. Inflorescence. Axillary or terminal cymose, panicle. Cymose type of inflorescence is of common occurrence in the family, and it may be present in the form of panicle. Panicle means many number of flowers will be there in that cluster, so that either the inflorescence may be produced in the axil of leaf and stem, or it may be produced at the shoot apex. So it is terminal or axillary, cymose or the cyme type of panicle type of inflorescence is of common occurrence in the members which belong to family Rutaceae. Okay. So let us continue with the calyx of the flower, the outermost whorl of the flower, the calyx. The calyx is made up of 4 to 5 sepals. The sepals are generally 5 sepals. bisexual, very rarely unisexual. Unisexual flowers are found in xanthoxylum. Xanthoxylum is a plant where the flowers are unisexual, otherwise the flowers are bisexual. So the flowers are pedicellate, actinomorphic, bisexual, rarely unisexual, hypogynous in nature because ovary is situated on the top of the thalamus. Generally it is pentamerous except in the number of carpels because the carpel number may be more. Many number of carpels may be there in the ovary, and the very important feature of the flower is the presence of cushion-like disc below the ovary. Okay, the pedicellate, actinomorphic, bisexual, complete, rarely zygomorphic, hypogynous flowers, pentamerous except the number of carpels. Carpels are many in number, and the flowers are characterized by the presence of a cushion-like disc below the ovary. Okay. Now the flower structure. I'll draw the structure of flower. Just one LS of one member of the family. This is an LS, exactly similar to the stamens, and when you draw a list of the flower, even during when you draw the diagrams over your journal, when you draw the list of the flower, you have to start with the ovary first. So that you can elaborate all the parts very freely and you can draw a nice diagram. You should not start with the calyx of the flower, because if you start with the calyx, outermost whorl of the flower, you have to draw the other whorls inside the calyx. Next to that, there will be corolla. Next to corolla, there will be androecium, and innermost part is ovary or the gynoecium. You cannot accommodate all these parts of the flower very nicely in your diagram if you start it from the calyx. So that it is better to start with the ovary first, then you draw the stamens, then comes the part, the next part of the flower is the calyx, the corolla. It's the corolla here, the petal. Okay, after the petal, this is the calyx. This is how to draw the LS of the flower. You have to begin with the ovary and draw all the parts of the flower. Now let me label all the different parts. This is the calyx, made up of sepals. This is the petal, corolla made up of petal, ovary. One important thing I forgot to draw here in LS is the presence of a cushion-like disc below the ovary. It's very important. Very important part of the flower. This is the cushion-like disc. Outside the disc comes the corolla, and outside the corolla, this is the sepal. Okay, now this is the cushion-like disc below the ovary. Right? So calyx is outermost part. Next to which there is corolla. Next to the corolla, this is the disc, and the ovary, the petal, the stamens, the style, and stigma. These are the ovules. Okay. So this is LS of citrus flower. This is LS of a flower. So that the flower can be now described as, you can describe all the characters of the flower. It is pedicellate, actinomorphic, complete because it is having all the four different parts, bisexual usually, very rarely unisexual, hypogynous in nature, and the ovary is situated on a distinct cushion-like disc. And the flowers are pentamerous except the number of carpels. The carpels may be more in number, so that may not be exactly 5 in number, so that you can describe it as pentamerous flower. Very highly scented flowers because of the gland-ducted nature of the petals also. Now the calyx of the flower. The calyx is made up of 5 sepals. Here the number of sepals are 5, and all the 5 sepals are free or slightly fused at the base with valgate or imbricate estivation. Generally with imbricate estivation. The calyx is made up of 5 sepals, 4 to 5 sepals, slightly fused at the base with imbricate estivation. You check the video which contains all these kinds of estivations, and if the sepals are 5 in number and the estivation is imbricate, and in this one of the sepal will be completely out, another one is completely in, and remaining 3 sepals will be partly in and out. And the estivation is to be described as the imbricate type of estivation, and there will be 5 number of sepals in the calyx. Corolla of the family members. The corolla is again made up of 5 petals. Again this contains 5 petals, and all 5 petals are free, polypetalous in nature. The calyx may be polypetalous or slightly fused at the base, but the corolla is characterized by the polypetalous condition, and all the 5 petals are free in nature, generally with imbricate estivation. Again it is 1 in, 1 out, 3 partly in and out. Even the petals are, if you observe the petals with your naked eye also, you can make out translucent glands present over the petals. That is why it is highly scented type of flowers in the family. So 5 petals which are polypetalous in nature with imbricate estivation. 5 sepals slightly fused or free with imbricate estivation is a feature of the calyx and corolla. Then the androecium, a very important part of the flower. The androecium in the flowers of this family members, androecium consists of 5 stamens or double the number of petals. Double the number. Okay. It may be isostaminous in nature. Isostaminous means the number of stamens is equal to the number of sepals and petals, all are 5 in number. So that there may be 5 number of stamens, or the stamens may be double the number of petals, or it may be double the number of petals means the flower may contain 10 number of stamens. Okay. Or the stamens may be many, in some case there may be many number of stamens also. Okay. So if the stamens are in 5, it's okay. They are arranged in one model. If the stamens are double the number of petals means 10 stamens, then comes the question whether the stamens are, what is the arrangement of the stamens there. And if the stamens are 10 in number, then it is described as obdiplostaminous. Obdiplostaminous. Okay, this you check the meaning of this word. Obdiplostaminous means the first whorl is antipetalous and the second whorl is antisepalous. First whorl is antipetalous and the second whorl, inner whorl, is antisepalous in nature. And if this is the condition, then it is to be described as obdiplostaminous. And this can be shown by drawing the floral diagram. So in the floral diagram, when you check the previous video, you will get the diagram there. Obdiplostaminous condition means if the flower is containing 10 number of stamens, the stamens are arranged in 2 whorls of 5 each. And the outer whorl, if the outer whorl is antipetalous, means opposite to petals, alternating with the sepals. And the inner whorl of 5 stamens is antisepalous, means it is alternating with the petals. And I will draw for you just if this is the calyx made up of 5 sepals. Okay. I am not drawing the imbricate estivation, just it is a diagrammatic representation to show the obdiplostaminous condition. Suppose these are the sepals. Okay. This is the calyx. Always the petal will be alternating with the sepal. Okay. These are the 5 petals. Don't concentrate upon the estivation here. I am not drawing the estivation of the members of this family, just to show the obdiplostaminous condition and drawing the diagram. So outer whorl, if the stamens are 10 in number, they are to be arranged in 5 plus 5 condition. Okay, 5 plus 5. Outer whorl of 5 stamens. Outer whorl of 5 stamens will be antipetalous, means opposite to petal. This is the outer whorl. 5 stamens must be opposite to petals. Okay, these are the petal. This is the petal. They are opposite to petals, right? This is the outer whorl. Now when you draw, this is ovary. Okay. When you draw the inner whorl, the second whorl of 5 petals, 5 stamens, it must be antisepalous, exactly opposite to sepals. Here, the second whorl must be exactly opposite to sepals. And this condition is called as obdiplostaminous condition. This is found in the members of Rutaceae family. Okay. So the stamens may be 5 in number, or they may be double the number of petals, means 10. If they are arranged, we find 10 stamens in the flower, in that case they are arranged in 2 whorls of of stamens in the flowers of this family. It is called as polyadelphous condition. Check the meaning in the previous video. Polyadelphous in nature. You know monodelphous, diadelphous and polyadelphous. You have learned all the terminologies there. Polyadelphous condition means if the flower is consisting of many number of stamens, the stamens are aggregated into separate bundles. There will be more than 2 bundles in the flower, then it is called as polyadelphous. If it is 1, it is monodelphous, characteristic feature of Malvaceae family. 2, diadelphous, Papilionaceae we find that condition, whereas polyadelphous condition is found in the members of this Rutaceae. Some plants are characterized by polyadelphous condition. The anthers are two-sided, they are base-fixed in nature. Each anther is base-fixed, two-sided with longitudinal dehiscence is the feature of the androecium in the members of this family. Now the gynoecium. The gynoecium is made up of gynoecium is consisting of 5 to many number of carpels. Okay, generally it is multicarpellary. Generally many carpellary. So 5 to many number of carpels. It is multicarpellary in nature. Syncarpous, superior ovary placed on a separate cushion-like disc. Locule number equals to the number of carpels. The ovules are many and the ovules are arranged on axial presentation. Style simple, this is the style, simple, and stigma is capitate in nature. If you take transverse section of the ovary, all of you know, we cut the lemon transversely. If you cut the lemon, make it half of the lemon, take half portion of the lemon, you will find that axial presentation can be seen and so many number of partitions walls can be seen. And it is made up of many number of carpels like this. Okay, so many number of carpels will be there. This is axis, axial presentation can be seen in the ovary. This is how the TS of lemon looks like. So it is multicarpellary, multilocular, syncarpous, ovary superior, placed on a cushion-like disc, many number of ovules arranged on axial presentation, and the style is simple because it is arising from the top of the ovary and stigma is capitate. Okay. The type of fruit in the family, the fruit characteristic fruit of the family is called as Hesperidium. Hesperidium is the fruit. Hesperidium. Hesperidium, or another type of fruit is called as Amphisaraca. Hesperidium or Amphisaraca. Hesperidium because it is a kind of simple fleshy fruit. It's a type of simple fleshy fruit where the lemon and Mosambik orange, they are the example for the Hesperidium type of fruit, where the fruit wall, the pericarp is differentiated into epimeso and endocarp. Take a orange and take out a rind. The rind is actually one part of the pericarp. It is called as epicarp, loose rind. Okay. Then if you open up the rind, you will find a creamy white colored coat around the fruit. That is called as a mesocarp. The middle one is called as mesocarp. And innermost endocarp appears in the form of partition walls of the fruit. So that if you find the differentiation of the pericarp into the fruit wall, the pericarp is differentiated into epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. And in that case, on the inner wall, the partition walls, you will find the juicy hairs are attached over the walls of the carpels there, the endocarp. So that kind of fruit is called as Hesperidium. Amphisaraca is found in case of bale, patri. Patri fruit is an example for Amphisaraca, where we find a very hard shell-like outermost covering of the fruit and pulpy, juicy type of pulp inside the fruit. That is an example for Amphisaraca. There the number of carpels may be 5 in that fruit. 5 number of carpels, syncarpous, superior ovary with the orange colored pulpy structure, pulpy matter into the inside the fruit, that is called as Amphisaraca type of fruit. Okay. Now these are the features of the family Rutaceae. When we write the distinguishing features of the family, the first and foremost important character of the family is the presence of translucent glands over the plant parts. Because of that, the plant parts are highly fragrant, very much scented in nature. Then the next character for the family is the compound kind of leaves both palmately as well as pinnately compound leaves with polligenous type of leaf base, unipostrate reticulate venation, axillary or terminal panicle of sign type of inflorescence. Then the flowers actinomorphic, bisexual, hypogynous, and the ovary is situated on the top of the disc, cushion-like disc. And the calyx with imbricate distribution, corolla is with imbricate distribution, polypetalous corolla with imbricate distribution, androecium with the free condition, or it may be polyadelphous, or it may be obdiplostemanous condition can be seen in the androecium. The gynoecium, the next character is multicarpellary syncarpous, superior nature of the ovary. The ovary is placed on a cushion-like disc, and the ovary is consisting of many number of ovules arranged on axial placentation. The fruit of the family is called as Hesperidium or Amphicerata. In almost all citrus fruits, it belongs to Hesperidium type, whereas in bale or patri, it is called as the Amphicerata type of fruit. Okay, so these are the distinguishing features of the family. To write down the distinguishing features, observe the video carefully, write all the characters, and that is enough for the family Rutaceae. They are the important features of the family Rutaceae. Now I will give you some examples for the family. Examples of the family, some common plants. The first plant is called as Ruta graveolens. Ruta graveolens. Murraya koyanigi, Murraya exotica, Eagle marmelos, Eagle marmelos, Xanthoxylum alatum, are some examples. And apart from this, the very important plants of the family, citrus species, Aurantium, Citrus aurantium, Citrus reticulata, Citrus sinensis, Citrus medica, Citrus medica variety, Citrus medica variety acida, or Citrus medica variety limon. So these are some examples of the family Rutaceae, where the Ruta graveolens is one of the very important medicinal plant. This is used as a nerve tonic. So that Ruta graveolens is called as Nagadadi. Nagadadi is the Kannada name for Ruta graveolens. It is the herb of the family. Very highly fragrant plant parts are found in this family. An important medicinal plant which belongs to this family. Murraya koyanigi and Murraya exotica are the two species of curry leaf. That is Karibevu is called as Murraya koyanigi or Murraya exotica. The leaves are highly fragrant in nature and it is in our daily life. It has got many important useful nature. The leaves are used for, the leaves are crushed and boiled along with coconut oil, and it enhances the hair growth, blackening of the hair, etc. This goes to the essential oils extracted from the plant parts, goes to the perfume industry or in the preparation of various kinds of perfumes also. Eagle marmelos is patri. This is one of the patri plant is called as eagle marmelos. Concentrate the spelling. Yes, check the spelling. This is eagle, A-E-G-L-E. Okay. So eagle marmelos is patri. It is also one of the sacred plant and it is of medicinal value. Xanthoxylum alatum is Jumunkai. It is called as Xanthoxylum alatum, and the fruits of this plant is also used for various types of medicines, and it is used against cholera and all. So the fruits are highly fragrant, very small fruits a condiment also. Xanthoxylum alata. The various species of citrus, citrus aurantium is orange, citrus reticulata is santra, citrus sinensis is Mozambique, citrus medica is chacota, citrus medica variety acida or citrus medica variety limon is lemon. These are the botanical names of the citrus fruits, and all these fruits are rich in vitamin C and they are cultivated for their delicious fruits and their nutritional quality. So these are the economically important plants. They are cultivated and they are cultivated for their delicious fruits. That is about the examples of the family Rutaceae, and with this example I am going to finish this family Rutaceae. Just go through all the features, concentrate upon the distinguishing features of the family, write down the distinguishing features properly, and that you just go through the repeatedly through the distinguishing features so that you can remember the characters for family Rutaceae. Thank you.